evening. Hello. Welcome back if you were tuned into the first two interviews that we had this evening. My name is Lily, and of course, I will be the last host this evening in the Skyy Lounge for Skyy Level Media. And I have joining with me very soon Miasha, and she's super dope. She's an author. She's now a producer for a film that is going viral, that's getting a lot of love. It is actually on Amazon Prime right now, and we're going to get into all of that. So as soon as she joins, we're going to have a good conversation. Miss Miasha is here in the Skyy Lounge with us for Next Level Podcast, and we're going to get into a fun conversation today, of course, about Secret Society, which is doing so well.
Yeah.
But before we get into the questions, I would like to play an icebreaker game. It is called Do You Remember? So this is where you would try to recall some of your successful first, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so the first one. Do you remember when you got your first major check as an author?
Absolutely. I will never forget it. Yeah, like I remember it like it was yesterday. I was
Yeah.
probably like 8 months pregnant with my first son. And I wanted to like jump up and down, but I couldn't because I was 8 months pregnant.
Yeah.
I remember that for sure.
Dope. Okay. The next one. Do you remember the first poem or piece of work that you ever wrote?
I think so. I think
Okay.
my first poem. I might be biased because it's the poem that my dad sent to the newspaper, and so that's why it's embedded in my memory. So it
Uh-huh.
might be my first poem ever, but it's definitely a first accomplishment when it comes to writing.
Got you. Yes, baby. Published author, period.
Right.
Okay. Last one. Do you remember a time where you felt like you were going to give up?
Um, I can't say give up,
Mhm.
but definitely there were times where I was wondering if some of my goals or dreams were not meant.
I
If that,
get it.
you
It
know,
does. Yep. I listen. I feel it. I feel it. But here we are. So successful. You're doing so well, so beautiful. And we're going to talk about all of your work. So, into your debut novel, Secret Society, landed you a six-figure deal after a bidding war, and now it is a film. So how has this 15-year journey been for you?
it's been amazing. Just to be able to live my dream of being an author was like huge for me. I was releasing 2 books a year. Everybody was, really, they related to my stories. And I got so much great reception then in the book world. And so transitioning into the film world, I had these expectations that, people would receive the film just as well as they did the book. But you still tend to get a little nervous when you're doing something new and then it's been so long. But I have to say the response that I'm getting so far is it's beyond what I could have imagined. And I'm just so grateful to have been on this journey.
Yes, it definitely is new, obviously for you. You've been a writer almost all of your life. So how did it feel breaking into the film industry with your first movie, A Secret Society? Like, did you get a lot of encouragement? Did you get a lot of advice? Did you get a lot of like lack? Like, what was that experience like?
It was different. I had different experiences. So I tried to do this as a movie in 2015. That was the first attempt. So I wrote the script then, and I kind of thought that I needed some kind of backing, some kind of someone to kind of like lead the way, and I kind of just be following their guidance with this whole project. And that's when I got a lot of people saying that the script was too ambitious, that I was going to need millions of dollars to shoot it. And so that kind of discouraged me. I put it on the back burner. Again, in 2017, I picked up the script. I revised it some to like fit what those people were saying. And again, I went out and I started searching for that help, because this was something I was brand new to. And I just thought I needed someone else to help facilitate it for me. And again, I ran into those same issues where people just didn't think that it would work. It would, we needed so much more. So then in 2019, when I saw a post by Jamal Hill, who's the director of the film, he had posted that he wants to make 4 movies the following year. And so I just shot my shot and I commented, we should do one together. And he asked what I had in mind. I sent him Secret Society, the book, and he read it and was in love with the story. And he was like, I got to be a part of this. And so once he gave me that like green light, I made up my mind that I was going to do this film no matter what, no matter who was with me or without me. I was just going to make it happen. And I feel like when you make that decision and you stop relying on other people, that's when the doors start opening up. That's when God basically makes the way for you when you make that decision yourself to go for it.
100%. Yes. Once you bet on yourself, and if the person who wants to invest in you believes, like, I feel like if they see the belief in you, it's like, okay, that's all we need. So let's do it. So shout out to him. That's dope. So did you know that, well, no, you couldn't have known because the pandemic came out of nowhere. So what was that like? Because you said you guys had this conversation in 2019. So you already planned, I guess, to have this filming during 2020. So what was that like transitioning from one thought process of filming normally to having to now scale down, try to stay safe and, still be successful?
Yeah, so it was crazy. Keeping it real with you. So it was the end of 2019 when he made the post. I guess that was his New Year's resolution, I guess, to do the 4 movies. And so when I guess the script was complete around February of 2020, like literally right before the pandemic. And when the pandemic hit and we were on a lockdown, I didn't even think about the script. I did not pick it up for 2 months. I did not look at the script. I didn't think about the script. I didn't think about Jamal or anything. I was just so stunned with what had happened and like just trying to figure out life, with this whole new thing. And then after those 2 months, when things were easing up a little, like we were able to do a little bit more, we could, go out a little bit more. I started thinking maybe this is the time to actually shoot this movie, where people aren't working, so we can get access to people that maybe would be busy, where the streets are not as crowded and packed. So if we need to do any like guerrilla shooting, like we can take care of that. So I picked up the phone and called Jamal and I was like, listen, I know, this whole pandemic thing kind of shut everything down, but do you think this is actually the perfect time to shoot this movie? And another concern of ours was that there was going to be a new wave in the fall, winter. So we were like, we should probably hurry up and shoot it during the summer before any new wave come, and then we're stuck again. So he was like, yeah, I'm available. Let's do it. And so we went into pre-production and we just had to make it work. I mean, it was some restrictions with COVID. We couldn't have as many people on set as we would have liked. So when it came to scenes where we needed a lot of extras, we had to be really creative on how we made that happen. Everyone on the cast and crew had to get a COVID test, which was scary as hell because we literally were shooting on a Monday and we needed we got the COVID results back that day. And if anybody would have tested positive, we would have had to shut down. Like we wouldn't have been able to shoot. So it was so nerve-wracking waiting for those results. But God was with us 1,000% because every single person tested negative.
Wow.
So to make it, we were able to shoot. We had safety people on set, sanitizing and temperature taking and all of that. But we pulled it off.
That's dope. That is so good. And you, from looking on your Instagram, I love how you made a post shouting out your team, who played a big part in making this film such a success. So can you talk about the importance of having a strong and reliable team to work with?
Girl, you know what? It's funny because I've been an entrepreneur for, I guess, 18 years now. And as a business owner, you know, you kind of feel like it's only you can do everything great. You know, you just feel like you wish you could clone yourself and just have yourself doing every role, every position. When it came down to the movie, I went into it with that expectation in mind. Like, I'm thinking I'm going to have to be in charge of everything, because like, I don't know if these people are capable. Like, I've never worked with any of them before. It was the first time for everybody that I worked with. So I kind of went into it like, okay, you're going to be wearing a bunch of hats, you're going to be doing a bunch of things, like, get it, you know, get it together, be all right with it. And when I showed up on set, my team was there already, had things set up, food, everything was taken care of. I literally just had to do my part, and that was it. And I was so grateful for that, because it made my first experience as a filmmaker so smooth. Like, so many people was like, you're going to be stressed, you're going to be pulling out your hair, you're going to cry some days, like, it's going to be um but I did not have those experiences. Like, even when there were little hiccups or little problems that arose, the team just came together and we figured it out as a whole. And people did multiple jobs, nobody was complaining, everybody had a positive attitude. And that made this movie all the best, because the output, like what you guys see, is because of all of that hard work and all of that positive energy. And that is why it's important, because without that, you could stress to death, first of all, and then on top of that, your project was show in the project.
Right. This is so true. And staying on the topic of a whole team. Now, I saw a lot of people tweet about the fashion in the movie. Okay. And as I'm watching, I'm like, okay, come on, like the fits, the makeup, everything. But I just gotta know, and I know a lot of the fans who tuned in probably also want to know, who was the wardrobe stylist? Like, did you have any input into the styling of the characters, and like, who is this person? Because they killed it.
Thank you. That'd be me. So that was one of the things that I did want to hire someone for, because it was very important to me for their style to be like top notch. Because in the book, when I described those girls' clothes from head to toe. Like,
Okay.
single time they stepped out, they were like all the way put together. So I wanted that to transcend into the film. Like, for the readers who read the book and they know exactly what I'm talking about, I wanted them to say, okay, yeah, she definitely implemented the fashion part too.
Yes.
So I was gonna hire a stylist to handle that for me, but with an independent film, you know, you try to put all the money into the actual project. So if it meant me not paying myself and just getting it done and putting that money into the actual wardrobe itself for it to be the best that it can be, then I would be willing to wear one more hat. And
Right.
kind of what I did, I just got in the trenches myself. And then I was so fortunate to have people like Tatiana at Odds Boutique in Miami, who opened her store to me and allowed me to pull from her store. Z Crave was very helpful. And then I used a lot of like female boutique owners, female designers, like Milano and like Leon Clothing, two girls from Philly who had their own brands. And I felt like this was an opportunity for me to put them on blast, like to showcase their stuff, because there's so many talented independent designers. So I definitely wanted to showcase that as well. So it was me, but I definitely had help.
Yes, and I'm sure they appreciated that so much, especially during the pandemic when you may see your sales going down, or you're losing that clientele. So you just giving them that opportunity was so dope, and girl, you did that. So hats off to you. Now, as you continue to rise to fame, you're not alone in this process. You have a very supportive husband who is also the EP of the film. So how does it feel to have your partner help you and support you with your success?
It's amazing, because it doesn't it's not really to be taken for granted. For a long time, I was just so used to him being by my side, being my number one fan, supporting me in everything that I did, that I thought that that was just the norm. But then I came to realize that, you know, that's not the case in every scenario. There's some relationships where the mate is just, they do their thing, you do your thing, and then whatever. But him being super supportive of all of my goals and dreams, and then on top of that, coming in and helping out wherever he can, and like make, like, he's in the trenches with me, you know what I mean? If it's something that needs to be done offset, he's running around making sure it gets done, and just being super helpful in every aspect, and allowing me to, you know, live my dreams, but even making it bigger than what I'm thinking about, you know.
Right.
So that was just something that I'm super grateful for, and super appreciative to have such a supportive such a supportive man. Thank you, babe.
We love it. We love it. We love it. And you know, you've also received a lot of support and a lot of good feedback. Like I said, on Twitter and different social media outlets. What was the feedback like from the transgender community? Did you receive heartfelt messages? Because I know that this probably spoke to them in so many ways. And it even opened my eyes to issues that, you know, I honestly obviously wouldn't know about because I'm not walking in their shoes. So what was that feedback like?
You know, I have so many DMs from people in the trans community thanking me for doing this film. Like you said, there's so many of us that, even though we're aware, and especially today, it's a lot different than it was in 2006 when the book came out. We are, as a society, we are more aware of the trans community. We are more accepting of the trans community than we were 15 years ago. But we still have a lot further to go. And this movie, and the way that we did this movie, I feel like it's going to help move us that much closer. Because like you said, there were some things that you didn't know about the trans community and what they go through, their struggles and things like that. And there's so many other people who watch this film who feel that way, who never would have watched a movie like this to even understand what they go through, but because they were drawn in and didn't know what was going on, and then they got hooked.
I love it.
Yeah, they walk away with a whole different understanding, a different compassion for the trans community. And that was one of my biggest goals in putting this movie out. And I do feel good that a lot of the trans community got that. They understood that. And, you know, for me to be a vessel and an ally is just, you know, I'm proud to be an ally, and I'm proud that I was the one to be a vessel for a story like this. And now I feel like more stories like this can be told, and there's a whole audience of people willing to watch now because they got this opportunity to learn about characters like these.
Yes, I agree. Because when I saw the preview, I had no idea. I didn't know what the twist was. You know, it was that one scene in the bathroom, and I was like, I wonder what it is. Never
Right.
mind that was like, you know, the secret of the movie. So the
Mm-hmm.
intertwined that in the storyline, it was just so creative, and it's like you're already hooked in. So let's, you know, continue with the ride. And it was, for me, my first time ever seeing that depicted in a film. I've never seen that before. You know, you may see a character on a show here and there, but a
Right.
story involving two main characters, that was the first for me. So once again, wonderful job, and shout out to the whole cast for delivering, because they did a great job.
Thank you.
So I have a few more questions for you. It's
Okay.
known that your releases are very extravagant, to the point where you've had fashion shows and you even had Kevin Hart perform one time. So being that you and Kevin are from Philly, how does it feel to know that, like him, you have inspired others from your community and your city to just follow their dreams and just, you know, believe what's true in their heart?
It's an honor because I think as creative people with dreams, you just want to be able to do your thing. Like, you just want to be able to put your work out there, whatever work that is. And then you don't realize that you being successful is going to create so much motivation and inspiration in other people until it happens. And you get those messages from people who say, you have no idea how much you inspired me and how much you motivated me. And I dedicated my first book to you because you were my inspiration, and things like that. And it just takes your dream to the next level. It's
Yeah.
like no longer just about you just wanting to do your thing. It's about you creating opportunities and a pathway for so many other people. And that is an honor. It really is. Like, it's bigger. It's just bigger than me.
Yeah, I can believe it. And I when I got the email that I had the opportunity to interview you, I was excited because, like you, I've always grown up like I loved English. I was a journalism major, so that's why I'm a journalist. I love
Right.
always just wrote short stories or long stories, and I'll come across my writer's block. So I'll set it down for a while and I'll come back. But I've always said my goal is to tell stories from our community and then eventually, transcend it onto the big screen and make a movie. So like being able to talk to you and, see your success is just once again like a push and a motivation and inspiration for myself because writing it could get a little difficult, and it's really hard because you critique yourself and you're like, oh, this doesn't sound good or this doesn't sound good. But having this conversation with you definitely is sparking the energy and motivation in me to get back into it. So you're doing it, honey, and it's not in vain. So thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
go for it. Because like this is 15 years in the making,
Right.
it's overnight. Just keep working at it and you'll look up and be like, I did it. Like, and that's the best feeling when you can look up at the different goals and dreams that you've had over the years and then you've accomplished them. That's a big a feeling like I can't even really express in words.
Yeah, I love it. So before I let you go, let everyone know what's coming up next for you and how we can follow you, support you, and keep up with you.
Definitely. So, if you've already seen Secret Society, you probably are among the people who are demanding a part two.
Love
So, yeah,
it.
I definitely give you guys part two. So that's what I'm working on now, the script for that. And then, I have 10 books published. So I plan on basically turning everything into a movie, TV series, all types of things. I definitely feel like this is a lane for me after doing this first film and the level in which we were able to do it and then the response that it's getting, it solidified for me that this is definitely a place that I need to be in.
Mhm.
And so you'll see more films and TV and all types of media like that. And then of course, we're going to be releasing the soundtrack for the movie um, this Friday. So look out for that. Everybody was loving the music in the movie. So we definitely want to put these independent artists, give them their shine. So that's coming Friday. You can follow me on Instagram, Miasha Official, Miasha Official, and Secret Society Movie. And yeah, this is just the beginning, guys. And if you haven't seen Secret Society yet, please go to Amazon Prime, watch the movie, leave a review, tell me what you think on Instagram, and let's just keep it going.
Yes, I love it. And you know what? Before I really let you go, seriously, because I was the same
Uh,
thing. And then someone else had a question. They wanted to know, did you ever meet anyone in that situation? Which is what I wanted to know. Like, who inspired this story, or like, what inspired you to want to write about this?
that's a good question because 15 years ago, this was super taboo, this subject matter. Like, nobody in my community was talking about anything like this. And even in the urban literature space, there were no books on the shelves at all about anything like this. So when I got the idea to tell a story like this, I actually dragged my cousin with me to a certain area in Philadelphia where I know that, it's the community hangout. And we kind of like drove around the block looking like spies, just trying to find someone that we felt was approachable. And I saw this girl and we pulled up and I was like, "Excuse me, I don't mean to bother you, but I'm writing a book and I just wanted to know if I could interview you." And she was just so like, her energy was like, "Girl, sure, like, let me just check your plate." And she like looked at our license plate. She's like, "I just want to make sure y'all not cops." And she came over to the car and just like poured into me like everything that she does, goes through, the lifestyle that she was living. She gave me her number. We talked on the phone for days, and I would just ask her all these different questions, and she would just give me all the information. And that's what made the story so authentic, because it was her real story. Like, she gave me everything, like all the details. And that's why it resonated with a lot of people in and outside of the community, because it was so authentic.
Right, right. Authenticity sells. So that is. Oh, well, thank you so much. I've enjoyed this conversation. We at I Love a Media are supporting you. Keep up the great work. Keep inspiring little brown girls like me to keep chasing our dreams. And we're rooting for you. And everybody, please, please, please go watch Secret Society on Amazon Prime. You will love it. So yes, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Problem. Bye.
Bye bye.